Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Poison here, me, myself, and I, back at it again with another video. I'm sorry that the uploads are so slow. I am just so busy with life and all of its many events going on. Anyways, I've actually come with you to talk about a very important topic about the next Storm game and what it's going to entail. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in previous Storm games, every time a new game comes out, they'll always take out a mechanic. Generation started off very strong by adding so many cancels. You can literally do a tilt, ninja move out the tilt into like an ultimate Jutsu or something. You can ninja move into grabs. You had a lot of accessibility on what you could do with cancels. Storm 3 came out, they made it that you can no longer tilt or rather cancel out of tilts anymore. So with that, they've taken something away. But with that, they also added a new mechanic as well with adding the relay system. Adding the relay system actually made it so that you could still cancel out of tilts, just not by ninja moving. It was more so by doing shuriken into relay. Then Revolution came out and they've taken out relays. They've replaced the animation for relays for the guard break pill. And then they've taken out any form of ninja move into grab or tilts altogether. They made it so that if you ninja move, you couldn't actually tilt or grab from that ninja move, thus limiting a lot of combo artists' abilities. But with the addition of this, Revolution added a whole new concept of drive type, ultimate Jutsu type, and awakening type, which brought a whole new style of gameplay. Storm 4 came out and we still cannot ninja move into tilt or grab unless you're playing Evo. With that, they've actually taken away the concept of instant awakening and the different types of styles you can have to fight with, and they replaced it with leader switching. So usually the common concept is with Storm is that they will take mechanics away, but then add in a nice big new one to replace it with to keep your attention averted. So the question that I have for you guys today is, what is it that they're going to be taking away in the next Storm game? So I've actually been sure to ask this on Twitter and on the YouTube comments, and I actually asked you guys, what do you think is going to be taken out? Or if you could decide one thing that will get taken out, what would it be? So a lot of you actually decided that leader switching should be taken out of the game. I'm actually really surprised by how many people actually said leader switching. I don't know if you guys are just getting bored of it or if you don't think it's a very good mechanic, but leader switching is something that I feel was a very great addition to Storm. Personally, I wouldn't actually care if it got taken out or put in anyway. Like, I don't care if it stays or gets taken out. Either way, I'm completely impartial to that. But personally, I actually really enjoy leader switching, and I think it is probably one of the greatest mechanics to ever come into Storm 4. I can understand why a lot of people would say that leader switching should go in terms of its glitches and the problems that it can cause. It's understandable. I know that not everybody's on board with switch tech, and on board with that, there is a comment that I did receive from somebody well known in the community that actually raised a somewhat of a good point, which we'll get into in a little bit. So besides leader switching, I'm actually going to check out some of the other comments. Now, I've actually went ahead and I read through everybody's comments, and I picked out very few comments that I actually thought were interesting, that they sounded interesting to me, that I'd like to expand on a little further and talk about the impact that they had on the next Storm game. And, you know, comments that I actually agree with or maybe even disagree with. So a comment that I actually massively agree with is them removing the character class locks. Now, what Triple D here means with character class is that basically certain characters in Storm 4 are limited to only certain character, like, support types. So the likes of Naruto, Konohamaru, Pain, Kiba, Tobirama, they're all limited to strike back. The likes of Itachi and Gaara and characters like them, they are limited to charge guard. So what he's saying is that you could probably still keep all of the typings, it's just don't lock them to characters. When we select a support, have us choose what typing that we want the support to be. Do I want Naruto to be a cover fire instead and throw Fuma Shuriken perhaps? Maybe I want Yamato to be a strike back. I don't know. It's just some random examples there. Maybe I want Pain and Nagato to both be strike backs. Maybe a whole team of strike backs like what Triple D said. Sounds amazing. You guys know I love my strike backs. But I actually feel like this comment is a very good idea. I feel like they could do that. The thing is, this wouldn't be a foreign concept to CC2, because in Generations in Storm 3, and I believe even Storm 2, you could actually change the support typing of your characters. So, you know, Conan would always naturally be like a balance type. You can make her into a strike back. Another comment that I wasn't really surprised to see that actually came about was actually Globku's comment, which was saying 3 subs. Now, I wasn't surprised about him actually saying about nerfing the subs. It surprised me that he didn't say about taking the subs out altogether. I'm not sure if you guys have seen mine and Globku's videos together. If you haven't, be sure to go over to his channel and you can check out the training videos that we've done together. He would mainly complain about the amount of substitutions there were, and I'm pretty sure at one point he said just to take them out altogether. But the fact he said 3 subs isn't a bad idea. There were some other comments that suggested this, and to be honest, I'm actually on board with that idea. If they nerf the amount of substitutions from 4 to 3, I feel like that would force everybody to either play really safe or to just act like crackheads and still be super aggressive. Either or, I feel like it would make an interesting dynamic to our game. Now, the next comment that actually came about, I really love this comment. I feel like it's a very clever comment indeed. And that is the idea of removing the item sets entirely. So get rid of the concept of items and replacing them with extra jutsu. Now, CC2, again, shouldn't be foreign to this type of concept because they're already doing this with the likes of Tayuya and Kaguya. Tayuya, obviously, having her D-pad to do the dokis. Now, I know the dokis have their own combo sets or whatever, but this could easily be replaced with Jutsu. Not only that, but when we do Awakening mode, there's 2 extra Jutsus right there for you. They could actually just scrap like the whole idea of ninja tools, and then just replace it with like 2 Jutsu. Maybe thinking of like 4 Jutsu is quite a lot. So each character could probably have like 2 Jutsu each and then have a cooldown. Like each Jutsu can have its own individual cooldown on its side. I feel like this would be a fantastic idea. That way it brings a lot more diversity and interest into characters. You know, like I've always wanted a new Jutsu for Ino. She's had her flower bomb for like what, 12 years, 11 years, however long Storm has been out. I'm getting kind of bored of using flower bomb. Yeah, they buffed it in an Awakening, so she throws 3 at a time, but still, I want to do some like mind transfer type stuff. I want to do some clan specific stuff, you know? Like I want more of that. I want to see more shadow jutsus from Shikamaru. You know, I want to see more type of different like types of taijutsu from Lee or Sakura or Choji. Like I want to see more jutsu from this. You know, maybe Tenten could actually have her fan by default. You know, maybe they could change up Tenten. I feel like changing the items and replacing it with jutsu is a much better idea. This does means that we will no longer get paper bombs and we'll no longer get tags to throw, and that would be kind of sad. But I feel like the matches would be a lot more explosive and a lot more interesting if we had extra jutsus to come across. Very interesting. And then here is a comment that I thought was extremely interesting, and this actually comes from Windy Sensei, and he says that the jutsu switch refunding chakra usage. And then he also mentioned the sub-reduction, which we've already spoke about. Now, the reason why I picked out Windy's comment is because right now in EVO and the current patch, this is already happening. The gameplay that you're seeing on screen, whenever we do switch tech, is actually happening. Like, we cannot get our chakra refunded to us. And I still didn't actually find a problem with this. The topic of having your chakra refunded to you or not, or having a cost chakra, I've actually talked about on the channel before. And then coincidentally, not long after, CCT went ahead and released a patch where switch tech became difficult to do, to the point where it was refunding chakra. Everyone managed to find a way to get around it by doing an alternative way of doing switch tech. However, nobody was happy about it. I then talked about making another video about doing another patch and about how everybody wants it reverted, and lo and behold, the switch tech got reverted. I don't know if I have the power in that, or in CC2 just had their own plans on the matter, but one thing I do know is that CC2 are actually paying attention to our videos and are paying attention to what everybody's saying in the community, and they're a lot more closer to us than you think. But back to the topic at hand. What Windy is saying is actually something that's going on in EVO right now, and I feel like it's actually not as bad as you think. I feel like it actually not nerfs, but it limits the amount of jutsu spam you get on the field, and it forces players to focus more on fundamental play, a lot more neutral play, and engaging in combos as well. Not only that, but if you want to do switch tech, it's actually forcing you to learn how to buffer. Now, buffering is more of a talented thing to do, is more of a skill-induced thing to do. And not only that, but you need to allow yourself space in order to do the buffer, because that character can get interrupted by shuriken, combos, jutsus. Literally a hair that falls from the sky will interrupt your character. So the fact that you can only refund your chakra by doing a buffer in the matter is not a bad shout. But to be honest, even if buffers were taken out in the next game, I really wouldn't complain. But with the amount of people that are saying that leader switching should be taken out, if that was taken out, then this whole conversation I'm having with you right now about about chakra being refunded after doing switch tech doesn't even matter. Because if they're actually going to take out leader switching, then we have a whole new fundamental way to play Storm. Which then leads me on to my final part of the video, actually. Talking about all this and then wondering about like what's going on is, if they were to take out leader switching altogether, I feel like they would still keep the element of multiple characters on one field. Now, they might actually do it in forms of like a Dragon Ball Fighters type of style, where you can switch, but you can't switch tech. So maybe there are characters that have their own individual life bars, although that would make fights very long. And we gotta admit, the fights in Storm 4 do get pretty long with the extra health and with the rounds and everything. So I don't know what CC2 would do about that. That is an interesting one. But anyways, I purely made this video as a way to have a conversation with you guys and to get you guys thinking and to get you guys talking about what you think the next mechanic would be taking out. Realistically, I can see them not taking out switching. I feel like leader switching is what made Storm 4 do so well. I think people like the idea of picking 3 of their favorite characters or just 3 good Naruto characters together in a team and literally just having them just do the most together. Is a very good feeling. So leader switching I can see staying. Whether they change the way leader switching works, so it's more of like a Demon Slayer route or more of like a DB Fighters type of route, it's likely. But one thing that will definitely happen is that they will take out certain mechanics or like a major mechanic and it will get replaced or rather shown up by another one. Something big probably, but I don't know what that will be. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. It's just some food for thought for you guys, just to keep you guys thinking and keep your brains, keep those cogs turning for when Naruto Storm Connections eventually gets announced and released and we start seeing trailers and we start getting hyped for the next Storm game. Honestly, I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Connections is going to be huge. But yeah, anyways, any thoughts, you guys, just drop in the comments down. I read a lot of the comments when I have the time to. And yeah, man, let's get excited about Storm Connections. Let's get talking. Let's start exchanging ideas. And who knows, we might say something that might persuade CC2 or Bandai to make something happen. Who knows? Like I said, they're closer than you think they are. As always, it's been your boy Poison Akami. じゃあね。